today I'm going to give you Bloxburg tips of how to earn a lot of money. So first tip, you always have to have your moods at a high level, because if you don't, you're not going to get that much money off of it. And if you don't have your moods of moderate, or your moods at least high to moderate, at least close to moderate, you're not going to get that much money. Because if you don't have your moods up, there's less chances of you getting more money than you expect. And if you just never want to make your moods high, you're never going to get enough money. So I provide you to get your moods up and ready to get your moods up. Because if you don't have your moods up, you're not going to get enough money, and then you're going to wonder why you're not getting that much money in Bloxburg. And that's the first reason why. So you absolutely have to have your moods up, because then you're going to get a lot of money. It's basically so easy. And look how much money I'm getting when my moods are marvelous. I'm getting a lot of money, and my efficiency is really high. And second, actually no, it's a part of the first step. And also your efficiency counts how much money you have. And look, I used to have $100 of my earnings, and look now, I have 726, and now that's 816. That's one reason why you're not getting money. If you don't follow what I do. See, now I have 1,000. Or the 1,000 plus dollars. So next. So, next tip is to buy the marvelous moon, the marvelous moon, and the best of Holy. If you get excellent Holy and marvelous moon, you're gonna get even more money. Even more money when you work. And I have almost all the 8 game passes. So, the amount of money that I have, you will get if you don't have those 2 game passes. That was the second tip. Third tip is to do your daily objectives. If you do it, you can get money. For example, first I'm going to do Sage your avatar Ace in the war zone. If you just do that, you're going to get some money when you finish the task. So, you go to your house or anything, go to the war zone. I'm going to the war zone. I'm choosing me to whatever I want. Let's see, I see my A's and saves my A's back, and I already did one task. Because the tasks are really easy to do. Just do all that. But the next one I'm going to do is throw a party. Every time I throw a party, nobody comes, so I don't even care if I throw a party or not. So you just throw a party, and you're one step closer to getting money. But this is only the first task thing I ever did. So next, I'm gonna go to Mike's Motors. That would be even easier because I only have to do one thing. I just have to fix someone's car and that's it. And you get $5,000 after you finish this step. These tasks. Okay, you work. What? I get the wheels. New wheels. Just trying to figure out. Okay. So you grab the wheels. Yeah. I just do this. And then I will have to press done and I'm gonna get $5,000. See? I just got $5,000 and now I have $61. Done with the tax. And now it's a good tip. Or was it? Yes, it was a good tip. The fourth tip is to always give yourself goals of how much money do you want after getting a job. But I want you to also take little breaks. But if you are going for 100K, at least take like 5-minute breaks, since it's probably going to take more than 1 hour to finish it to get to 100K. And don't mind me quitting real quick. I forgot how to do the thing because I haven't done this job in Bloxburg in super long. But we are not talking about that. We are talking about you setting goals. Because if you don't set goals, you just don't know how to make money. And then maybe you only get like 10K and then you just call it a day. Leave it. You know how it is. And that is not how you do it. You have to do it the longer way, but the easier way. And that's to just do that. Just work. Set goals, work, all that stuff. Okay, set goals, work. Set the goals. So if you go for 500K, you're probably gonna get 500K in a day. Yesterday. And if you don't get it in a day, if you get less than a day, that's 2K, long if you get 500K. But it's probably gonna take 2 or 3 or even 4 hours. But you have to set goals. If you don't set goals, you are probably gonna think that 50K is good to make a house. 50K is not good. Even though I made other accounts, I have public in accounts, and I made a house with 20K. It doesn't count because what happens if you want to make a big house? So I made a really small house in that other account. And you can't keep switching jobs. Maybe you can switch jobs each hour, but I switched jobs in 5 minutes because I was getting furious. So that it wasn't working when it was actually what it said. But you have to set goals. I'll probably win a reward for how much times I said you have to set goals, but you just have to set goals. Because if you don't set goals, how are you gonna make a house? What happens if you're new to the game and you think 6K is enough to make a house? You know nothing about work. You know anything about work. And then you see other people's beautiful houses and you want to make one. But you don't know you have to work to get a lot of money to get those beautiful houses. So you start building your house. And then once you start in the inside, you realize you only have like 1K or something. So then you get all frustrated. And then, how are you supposed to make the house? Because you deleted the house that you usually get once you do that. And you're gonna get really stinky and stuff. And then your moods are not gonna be marvelous and all of that. Because you deleted your real house. So, it's just bad. But it's okay because you can figure out how to work. You just press the phone icon and then you start to work. It's that easy. And then you press on work and then you press on anything you want to do. And it's really easy. But you should really start setting goals for 1 hour, 2 hours if you want to make even $1 million a day. It's the easiest. Right? The final tip. The 5th tip is don't build houses when you don't have enough money. Because if you build houses when you don't have enough money, you're just going to, if you have money, you're going to waste your money if you just build. Because if you build a house in Bloxburg when you have your money, you're going to waste it all. You're just going to waste it all. And then you're going to be wondering, why don't you have enough money once you start building? That's because if you have a lot of plots, that means you've been building all these houses with all your money. And you could just sell them, but it's only going to give you half of what you actually spend for it. So let's see. If you delete a house that's 1 million, you're only going to get 900K, 800K, or 700K. And that's just not fair. But this is why you can't build that many houses, because you won't get how much you actually spend for them. So if you keep making houses and deleting them, you're not going to get that much money. You're not going to have the money that you had before. So what happens if you had 5 million? You spend 5 million on a house, and that's why you have 5 million left. What happens if you have 10 million? You spend 5 million, and then you have 5 million left. But then, like a month later, or 2 months later, you realize you don't want the house, and you barely use it. So you try to go and delete the house. You're only going to get 4 million or 2 million. And that's bad. Anyways, that was all the tips. Goodbye, guys. Hope you have a great day.